Hi, welcome into Market Day Report. I am Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in here as we approach the noon hour Central Time. Let's see if we've got any changes in your markets, because you know what? Ultimately, that's going to be your money, right? Let's take a look at corn. I guess it's a little stronger. SEP's up 7.25 cents here to 3.97 3/4. Yeah, that's a high of the day, and we've got about a 7.75 cent range. Dees, the new crop, up 6 cents to 4.10 1/4, and that's about a half cent off the highs of a 7.5 cent range. So that's corn for you. Not bad. We'll take it after the last few days. It's been kind of a rough go here. How about soybeans? Well, they're a little bit better as well. 12.25 cents better in the August, 10.90 1/4. But if you go out to, say, the Novi new crop, 4.75 cents better there. 10.44 3/4 is last. We're still about 8 cents off the 7.25 cents off the high of the day there. So beans up about 4.75 when we talk about the new crop. Let's move out to, say, what the wheat's got for us. What's that? Well, wheat in Chicago, we're up 1.75 cents in SEP, 5.34 1/4 is last there. Go out to March, that's up a penny and a half as well, to 5.78 3/4. Not a lot going on. A little bit of a bounce back, but not like you'd thought after considering yesterday's action. Let's take a look at hard red. Well, I tell you, not a lot going on. So much is not going on. It's now unchanged. 5.55 1/2 is last in SEP, which is now 5.55 1/4. We're down a quarter there. Dees, that's unchanged at 5.72 1/4. So nothing really too big to speak about there. We're up or down 1/4 pretty much across the board. Hard red, let's not linger. Nothing going on. Spring wheat, Minneapolis, that's up 2.75 cents in SEP to 5.83 1/2. Moving on out to March, that's up 3 cents to 6.22 1/4. And then finally, let's get to cotton. Cotton is, drum roll please, now we've really kind of taken the leg lower here, 110 points lower to 71.34, and that's close to the low of the day by about 9 points. 71.25 is that low. Let's bring him in. It's Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading up in Valparaiso, Indiana. Tommy, just rattled off a bunch of grain prices. Anything jump out at you?
Well, we had a tree jump out of my yard last night. We lost a big tree, but storms were bad. I don't know what that equates to losing corn. I called clients, I texted clients, called clients. I didn't get the "it's all gone, it's all down, I'll send you a picture." So if it happened, they're looking at it and haven't told me yet. I do think this crop is maybe not perfect in the sense that we're going to start to have a lot of disease pressure. You're hearing about tar spot. Another thing, I was looking at a document over to my right from Purdue University about different farmers' choices for fungicides, and I didn't all these chemicals here. If you're a farmer, you'd understand what they are. But the point being, with 350 cash corn, I guess a question to ask, maybe not you, or to ask your viewers and they get back to us, is how much money are you going to throw at 350 corn? We're not 450, 550, 650, 750. We're 350 cash corn. Is that where you go all in on a pair of twos? I don't know, Scotty. So in the end, we may find out the crop didn't just have as much love as it needed, or maybe all these rains really, at some point start to hurt. But I would go and say confidently, there's enough good grain out there, and there's enough old crop out there to temper a rally. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see corn rally 20, 30 cents here next week, beans rally 40, 50, wheat to have a rally. And that's not based, I know it's going to rally. That's based on big bear markets have explosive short covering rallies, as you know. Looking over to my left here, Dow Jones up 600. Interesting times in America. Back to you, my friend.
Yeah, you're right. Well, to your point about these short-term rallies and what's been going on out there, you know what, Tommy, we've had a lot of folks on this air, on my show, say that they're looking at, say, maybe corn yields of 183, 184, 185. I mean, that's well over a trend line. I don't know if that's the case, but I tell you, like I said, I drove the length of Indiana 2 weeks ago, the width of Illinois, and a little bit of Iowa. I know, unless you're right, unless some of this latest storm did a lot of damage. I don't think it did, because we definitely would have been hearing about it by now. I guarantee you. The corn was pretty darn good.
Yeah, and when you flood a field, you only flood it once. So if you flood, say you have 100 acres and 10 acres flooded out, it's gone. Like that field will probably continue to get wet, and people post pictures of that same flooded area. Once it's flooded and dead, it's dead. You don't, but it's the 90% of where we can get those yields in the 180. If you believe in genetics, if your seed salesman who gave you that hat, very expensive hat, by the way, but your seed salesman or woman who gave you that hat, if you believe in their genetics, and you got to believe in big bushels. AI, Scotty, and all this technology is not working against us when it comes to ag, my friend.
All righty, stay right there. We're going to go away, pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk livestock with Tommy Grisafi right after this. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about some livestock, right? You can't wear this jacket all day long and not really do any of that. Let's go to live cattle. I pulled up that board, and there's a whole lot of nothing going on here, folks. August is unchanged, 182.12. Feb's unchanged at 187.97. Now, in between, we're up a dime or 12 cents. October's up a dime to 183.90, but we don't really have to say very much. There's not a lot happening in live cattle. Let's move over from the live cattle to the feeder cattle. We got a little bit of a lower board in August, 85 cents lower there. 257.92 is last. We're a nickel lower in Sep to 258.85, but we are up in October and November. October's up 17 cents, 258.65. November's up a dime. So that's feeder cattle. Let's see what we've got going on. Lean hogs had a little bit of a rally going on. They still do. $2.40 better in August to 90.82. October's up $1.95 to 71.72. Let's bring him back in. Tommy Grisafi, Advanced Trading, and see what he's got to say about it all. Anything jump out at you there, Tommy?
We'll go back to where we finished off. Dow Jones up 600. That's definitely friendly that someone's got money right now. Oftentimes on your show, I think you say 12 or 15% of the stocks are 80% of the stocks are owned by 12, 15% of the people, something like that. I don't know that Dow up 600 really trickles down to working America, struggling America. And we have to quit pretending that the world's ending here when it comes to the stock market. Now, things can change quickly. Stock markets zip up, and then all of a sudden one day they could be a lot lower. But even if I told you the Dow Jones was down 5,000 points, it would be at 35,000. Still an impressive move. The Dow Jones isn't up nearly as much as the other markets, so you're constantly seeing this rebalancing. What's that have to do with live cattle, feeder cattle, and hogs? There's a lot of money swishing around, Scotty, and I think there's more money than actual places to put it. And people are getting in and out of the market at a quick rate. I'm not so sure that live cattle contract is necessarily the best place to always be. I really starting to lean a little bit more towards LRP insurance and other tools out there. But I do know this: it's very expensive to produce a pound of beef. Back to you, my friend.
You touched on something very important there. I don't have the exact number, but I'm going to look at it after the break. But as far as stocks go, I think we have less than half of the amount of stocks we had 35 years ago to invest in today. So just by the math, and there's more money than there was 35 years ago. So, there's a little bit of a conspiracy there for you. But there's not as many. There's definitely not as many places to put your cash today when it comes to stocks. There might be with other investment vehicles, but which is an interesting thing to think about because that does create its own bottleneck on its own. So. Great stuff as usual. Thank you very much, Tommy. Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading, coming all the way from Valparaiso, Indiana. But that's a weird stat. I'm going to have to look it back up. But
you think there's a conspiracy behind it?
No, but I mean, it's
kind
just
of forcing everybody to Bitcoin?
Well, no, but if you had 3,000 stocks to invest in 30 years ago, now there's only 1,500. And there's more money out there. What do you think is going to happen to the 1,500 regardless?
Yeah, thank you, Scott.